Hey everyone, alright, so are you ready for a Marvel Land Q&A? This entire video is dedicated to your Marvel Land questions. In the last video that I made, I put out a request for you guys to send me questions, anything related to Disney or the parks, you know, anything in that Disney universe, and I got a ton of questions from you guys in regards to Marvel Land. So I decided to take all the Marvel Land questions and put them in their own video. Now, I just want to say, if you submitted a question that's not Marvel Land related, there will be another Q&A video released after this one with those questions in them. So don't worry, I answered a lot of questions. There were just so many Marvel ones. I felt it kind of deserved its own video. So with that said, let's dig right in. And the first question comes from Guy Disney. And he is asking, do you think that Hollywoodland would be safe for a while? Or do you think it will eventually be turned into Marvel Land? Because I could really see Hollywoodland remaining and be the new area for the food and wine festivals they have throughout the year, as those are increasingly becoming so popular. That would also free up a lot of space on the main walkway in DCA. Well, Guy, thank you so much for your question. And to answer the first part, do I think Hollywoodland is safe for now? Yes. I do think the land, the overall land is safe. I don't think that Disney, as of right now, has any plans to really infringe or cut into Hollywoodland for Marvel. Like the press release said, it's going to focus mostly on the area around Breakout and Bugs Land. So for right now, yeah, absolutely, Hollywoodland is safe. Now, I can't be so certain, though, in regards to elements within Hollywoodland. What do I mean by that? Well, when you walk up to Mission Breakout, there's two massive buildings. One on the left, which is the Hyperion, and one on the right, which is the animation building. I could easily see one or both even of those buildings being incorporated into Marvel Land. Okay? Let's be honest. I mean, Bugs Land is not that big of a property, right? So Disney supposedly is building a massive Avengers e-ticket. Where are they going to put that? I mean, they could technically put it behind Mission Breakout. There is some acreage behind there that they can put it in. That's definitely a possibility. But then there was also a Spider-Man ride, which Bob Chapek announced at D23 in August, that's also coming. So where would they put that? So I definitely think with these two massive buildings, the animation building and the Hyperion, bumping up against Marvel Land, I think it's a possibility that one or both of those attractions get gutted and a Marvel attraction gets put in one of those buildings. For example, the animation building, they could easily gut that building and put, say, the Spider-Man ride in that building, okay? And the area or the wall that bumps up against Mission Breakout could be the entry into that attraction. The part of the building that faces Hollywood can remain like a, you know, like a facade themed to Hollywood. So that's one possibility that they could, how they could, you know, utilize that building. They could do something very similar with the Hyperion. So in short, Hollywoodland, it's safe for now as a land, but certain elements like those two that I mentioned, I don't know if those are really that safe. It's a possibility those could be used for Marvel Land, but we don't know yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for your question. That was a great one, Guy. Thank you. Next question comes from DucksFan11. How many e-tickets will be in Marvel Land? Is it possible for Black Panther to get an attraction this late? Well, thank you, DucksFan, for the question. I do appreciate it. How many e-tickets do I think will be in Marvel Land? I think there'll probably be one big e-ticket. Based on how Disney has been doing things recently with Pandora, you know, there's the big e-ticket, Flight of the Banshee. And then they had like the lower, like, you know, D ticket with the boat ride. A similar approach, was made with Cars Land. Radiator Springs is that big signature, e-ticket, and then they had smaller attractions within the land. I think that's sort of Disney's MO right now, and I don't think they're going to break that with Marvel Land. So I think that it will have one e-ticket. I think the e-ticket will be the Avengers. And then Bob Chapek at D23, as I mentioned earlier in the video, did announce a Spider-Man attraction. So that'll also be included, and that will probably be like a lower tiered attraction, probably like a D ticket. So that's my guess. In terms of Black Panther, the success of Black Panther is remarkable, okay? I mean, it's killing it at the box office. I think it recently just passed like the Avengers and even Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I mean, it's crazy. It's Black Panther is doing phenomenal. So obviously Disney is looking at what can we do to add Black Panther into the parks. So to answer your question, do I think they're going to add Black Panther into Marvel Land? Absolutely, 100%. Do I think that in 2020, Marvel Land will open with some sort of Black Panther attraction? Not a chance. I don't think that Marvel Land will open with a Black Panther ride. I think it is too late for that. But I think down the road, it's a definite possibility that Marvel Land gets some sort of Black Panther expansion, so to speak. I also think it's an excellent possibility that Black Panther has a presence in Marvel Land. So what I mean by that is maybe not necessarily an attraction, but maybe a themed restaurant, maybe a themed show, maybe a themed meet and greet, maybe whatever the case. I think Black Panther will play a big part in Marvel Land in 2020, even if it doesn't get an attraction. Okay, and I think they sort of hinted at that with the concept art that has a Black Panther pretty predominantly shown on the art. So I think they're planning a lot for him. I just don't think there's enough time to plan and build a fully fleshed out Black Panther attraction in that timeline. Like a year and a half, 2 years, I just don't think it's enough time. But he will be in Marvel Land, and I think down the road, we will probably get a Black Panther attraction. At least I hope so. Thank you so much for that question. And the next question comes from Zachary L. And Zachary is asking, where do you think Disney will place all of the show buildings for e-ticket rides in Marvel Land? Well, thank you, Zachary, for the question. And I kind of touched upon this in a couple of the past questions in this video, but there's a lot of areas in that general proximity where they can put these e-tickets. I think the most likely for the Avengers attraction e-ticket will be behind Mission Breakout. There's a few acres back there, which is dedicated, I think, to some like parking, or I'm not really sure, but it's pretty much it's pretty much open for expansion if they wanted it. I think that's where the Avengers show building will go. If I were to bet on it, I think that's where it would go. In terms of the other attractions, like the rumored Spider-Man ride, that's a tougher one because I don't really know how big of a scale, this Spider-Man ride is going to be. Is it going to be an E-ticket? Is it going to be a D-ticket? Will it be like a small family dark ride? We just don't know, and we don't know what kind of ride system they're going to use. So that also makes a big difference. But there's a couple possibilities. Like I mentioned earlier, they could gut the animation building in Hollywood Land, and they can put the entrance to the attraction on the Marvel Land side. That building is massive. I love the animation building. I would hate to see it go, but reality is reality. They could definitely do that. The Hyperion is another option. It butts up against Marvel Land. It's a massive building. They can definitely put something in there if they wanted to. They're also going to bulldoze Bugs Land. Depending on the scope of whatever ride they're going to build, they could probably arrange some sort of good size show building on that property. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I think the almost sure thing is the area behind Breakout. I think that acreage, that land behind Breakout will definitely become some kind of show building for one of the attractions, probably the Avengers one, but who knows. But yeah, it's really anyone's guess. They have a few areas that they can really work with, but we're just going to have to wait and see what they choose. I would hate to lose the animation building in Hollywood, but there's no denying its proximity to Marvel Land and its massive size. That kind of goes against, that kind of plays against it. You know, it's definitely an opportunity for them to move something in there Marvel, you know, related. So thank you so much for the question. I do appreciate it. Now let's go on to the next one, which is from Jimbo. And Jimbo is asking, do you think Disney will bring an Iron Man presence to Marvel Land in DCA and not just in the Avengers ride? Great question, Jimbo. Now, okay, it depends on what you mean by presence. If you mean presence in terms of references, I think he'll have a massive presence in Marvel Land. I think they'll probably be, you know, he'll probably get like his own show or maybe his own themed restaurant. Maybe we'll even get like a Stark, Tony Stark, you know, building. Who knows? So I think in terms of references, Iron Man will be everywhere. I mean, he is the guy. He is the character that kicked off the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's important. So he will have a presence. So if you mean presence in that regard, yes, it'll be huge. If you mean presence in the respect of his own attraction, I don't think that's going to happen. I do not. I do not think Iron Man will receive his own attraction. I think the best chance we had for a Iron Man ride would have been Star Tours, basically. You know, they could have closed Star Tours down and redid it as an Iron Man ride, similar to the one in Hong Kong. Okay, but with Marvel Land getting its own area at California Adventure, I think the chances of that are super unlikely, and I just can't see them bringing that attraction to DCA. I just don't. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I really don't feel like that's the case. And I think that the concept art for each park, you know, they had one for Disneyland, one for Hong Kong, one for Paris. They kind of focused on the characters in each piece of art that will be coming to each park. You know, our poster focused on, you know, like the Avengers and Spider-Man, right? The other arts focused on other characters. And I think that is really telling as to what characters will get their attractions in what park. So unfortunately, no, I don't think Iron Man will have his own ride, but he will have a major presence in the land in other ways, definitely. So that concludes this Marvel Land themed Q&A. Like I said, I will be releasing another Q&A with the non-Marvel Land questions. I just want to dedicate this video to all Marvel because I got so many Marvel questions from you guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Comment below with more questions for the next Q&A. Whatever's on your mind for Disney, Disney Parks, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, anything you want to talk about, Disney related, comment below and I might pick your question for another Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, have a marvelous day.